our channel, A Trade of You. I'm your girl, A-Marie.
And I'm your girl, Juan.
And today we have Brom's own living legend, Hollywood superstar. We have BAFTA nominated, soon to get an Oscar,
hello,
Duane Henry.
Welcome.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me, man.
No problem. How are you today?
I'm good, yo. I lift my head off that pillow. That's a blessing, right?
Amen.
I'm good.
Amen.
I'm good,
Praise
man.
God, what are we doing?
Yeah, good to be back. Back in Birmingham, in the UK. You know, it's only been a minute, and I'm leaving in a minute, so it's nice to soak it up, man. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Chilling.
Good to have you
How are
here.
you? How are you lot doing, sisters?
We are
queens?
blessed and highly favored.
God is good all the time. Amen. Praise God. Woke me up this morning, started me on my way.
That's it.
Message.
But yeah, we're all good.
Good, man.
How's man like tea?
I'm good. I'm in the background.
Sipping tea.
So, Duane, let's get started from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so your acting career. When did you first realize you wanted to be an actor?
Oh God, you just go straight there.
Straight in.
When did I first realize I wanted to be an actor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's the thing, yeah. Those who know me, I'm very lazy. I don't like hard work. It makes me irritable. You know what I mean? So I learned very, very early on, maybe it was like 12, 13, 14, I realized this is the difference between knowing what you do and don't want to do in life. I realized I didn't want to work hard in life. So if I didn't want to work hard in life, I figured what comes natural to me. Because if you realize you have a gift at something, you kind of have to work less than you do at other things.
Yes.
And I realized, not in so many words now, in a different setting in my head, but I realized, to interpret it today, I had a gift of empathy. I had a vulnerability about me, and I couldn't quite put my finger on. I'd go in a room with people and always feel different vibes. And at the time, you think vulnerability is a weakness, but it's actually a strength.
Message.
So with that being said, I realized, okay, I used to do like acting and stuff when I was young, and I really enjoyed it, but I never really put my finger on it. Obviously, you have a footballer in the ends, or just on road and shining and doing your thing. But I realized early on that acting was something that came natural to me, and I really enjoyed it. So I just figured, you know what, it might be the acting thing. And I did it in school, in school, a little drama and that, but I never really took it serious until we was getting to the end of year 11. And me and my two boys, my still close friends, Tion and Darren, who we're very close with now, we decided that we're going to go to Dudley College and come out the ends, because we realised if we was going to stay in the ends, we knew the outcome of that, growing up in Handsworth, Lazarus. We knew what it was going to be. We should see the older man and see what they were doing and stuff. So we thought, let's try and go there. And it had a great drama course there. So I thought, let me go to Dudley and do a drama course. So that's where it initially started. Because even in my first year, I was just ramping. I wasn't doing nothing. I seen new gal and, like everything was just shiny new. I was out at the ends. I was like, yo. So it wasn't until towards my first end of year in college, my teachers pulled me to my college teachers, Dave Lynn and Dave Miller. They pulled me to the side and they said to me, if you stop messing around, like, we actually think you could do something, you know. And it was actually Dave Morrison, actually, I think it was. I forget his name. And there's three of them, 2 Daves.
Big up the Daves.
Yeah, and he pulled me to the side and he was like, I was like literally just, 16, about to turn, just turning 16. And he said, if you put your head down and focus, he pulled me in the room one day, I never forget, and he went, if you stop all this foolishness, showing off, being extra and trying to get people to laugh and whatever else, he said, if you focus, you could actually go hard with this acting thing. He didn't say it like that, but you could go hard and you could do really well. And I was like, whatever, mate, you're just saying that. And he said, Duane, come here, chill out. If you focus, I'm telling you now, you could do something, because you have the chops, but you just haven't got the focus. And I was like, all right, cool. And then from that, married with, I think I did a performance in my first year, and it didn't go, not performance, we were rehearsing, I never forget this, and I never learnt the lines like everyone else. I was messing around, and my teacher Dave shouted at me, man. He was just screamed at me, and Lynn Miller, they screamed at me in front of everyone and said, look, we need you to focus. And then the next day, I was the only one who knew my lines were perfect. And from that day, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this acting thing properly. And from then, I just did performances and ended up moving to London a year later. But from when I was 9, like 12, 11, 10, I knew properly that I wanted to act because it came so natural to me.
You need someone to pull you up and...
Yeah, like most people, you just need a little direction and
Yeah.
a little bit of an aim, a target to point at. And then, you know, that's like most youths. I don't have that little, you know, and I had that was what it was.
Direction.
Yeah. So that's all I needed. I needed the target. And from then, I was just drunk on, what was I drunk on? I was drunk on Audacity. You know what I'm saying? So I thought, let's just go with it, man. And that was it, So mainly that.
Okay, so you mentioned that you moved to London. So why did you move to London? Why did you make that decision?
At the end of second year college, a lot of my fellow classmates, they were all going to university and other stuff. And I thought, I'm just going to move to London and get an agent and just try a thing and just see what I can do with this TV. I just wanted to get on TV and do films. I just it was a calling. It was a burning inside me, and I was just like, I just need to go. I'm just gonna go and try and check it out because I got nothing to lose. Worst I could do is come back. And so I just thought move, and then I just moved when I was 17, straight after college, and everyone was like, "Dude, you're crazy. Go to uni." And I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna get an agent. I just want to go on telly and just see if I can do it." And that was it. I just moved to London a year later. You know, first year was a struggle, and after that I got an agent, and I started just doing all the shows, the Bills, the Doctor Who's, and all these shows, and then I just started to do my thing for 10 years, man.
So what was the off the back of moving to London, and you said you got an agent? What was the actual process?
My uncle David, I stayed. My auntie lived in Stockwell, so I stayed on her couch for maybe just like a year, and it came to a point where she's in the little corner that I had in the room with all my stuff was just growing and growing, and then she was like, "My love, you have to come out." So after about a year, I ended up renting a room somewhere. I got a job at Clark's on Oxford Street, and then I just started going from there, and then. My uncle, he lives in Covent Garden, he sat me down and said, "Look, you want an agent, you got to give out your CVs." And he says, so I had my headshot with him, little lamp by my head in his kitchen, I'll never forget. So I took a headshot, some fake ass CV, where I made out like I was doing stuff that I said I did Jungle Book in school and I played Mowgli, but I wasn't.
Don't do that part.
I didn't play Mowgli, I played the elephant's ass. I was standing behind a friend and like I had to do that with something over my head, and I was just the back of the elephant.
But you was in Jungle Book.
I was in Jungle Book, but I wasn't Mowgli. I said I was Mowgli, but I was the ass. I was doing that.
It was Mowgli's batty, but you know.
So with that, I sent out maybe 200-300 CVs across London. I got maybe 3 or 4 replies, and one of them was my agent for 10 years.
Wow.
So that
hard work pays off.
That was it. That was the odds, So that was mainly what I did. I just gave out. And in them days, it was just CV resumes, like manually, like letters or whatever. There was no like so much emails like that at the time. So that was how I got my agent, man. Yeah.
So what was your first TV appearance in when you moved to London?
It was a show called The Hitch. It was afternoon play on BBC One, something that came on in the afternoon. It was with Samantha Janus. I don't know what she calls herself now. But she was in EastEnders, Roxy and her sister.
Oh yeah.
What's her name? Her name was Samantha Janus, but I know she got married and changed it.
I'm not sure. But I remember them.
Yeah, but her, it was a scene with her, and they actually filmed it in Birmingham at Bamboo. The nightclub. Yeah, it was a scene there. I was in the club to chat her up, and she had a husband, and he had a fight, and then that was it. That was like my first ever acting role, man. Yeah, in a show called The Hitch. Yeah, in 04, I believe it was. Yeah, man.
Stealing girls from then, eh?
So you mentioned The Bill, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
How was your experience working on those shows? Because like The Bill, especially The Bill, I remember that growing up.
Yeah.
That was one of those
staple shows
that everybody watched.
Well, you just said it yourself. Everybody watched it, and I didn't get on Bill towards the end of its closing shows, like maybe towards the end, and it always niggled at me. I didn't do The Bill because it was always this passive. Like art, what is it? Art of passive, a ritual. Like you have to do a certain thing.
Oh yeah.
Rite of passage.
Rite of passage. Yeah. It was a rite of passage to do the bill, and I never did the bill. I was like, everyone's done the bill, who makes it? And I was like, I ain't never done the bill. And then before it closed, maybe like a season or 2 before it finished, I got a couple episodes in the bill, and that was it. That was cool because you grew up watching the bill.
Yeah.
For certain shows that I did that I used to watch on TV growing up, So that was fun. Like Blue Murder and like Law and Order.
Yeah.
And just shows like that, they were cool to do growing up watching. Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you mentioned as well you played in Doctors. And,
Doctors, as well. Yeah.
You played about 5 different roles. So how did that come about?
Well, obviously, if you're from Birmingham, you have to do a bunch of episodes of Doctors if you're an actor. So yeah, I don't remember the characters I played, but yeah, I did like 4 or 5 over the span of years, and I'm like, I think people are gonna realise I'm the same guy. But it was fun always to come home and do Doctors, because I think it was, you know, wherever the studios were in Selly, by the chocolate factory.
Okay.
Bourneville.
Bournemouth?
Bournemouth.
No, Bournemouth. Bourneville, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it was nice to do that and then come home and see the family and stuff. So it was always fun doing Doctors, man. Yeah, it was just it was so fast paced though, that show was.
Really?
Yeah, it's like seeing, I was like, oh, that wasn't a rehearsal. We actually, no, next up. And I was like, oh, that was the, you know, so it was quick like that, Doctors. But it was fun though, because you learn to pay your dues and learn to do things guerrilla style, you know. So that was sick, man. Yeah.
Nice.
So, what was your experience like working on WE with Madonna?
Well, WE was...
Well, it was directed by Madonna.
Yeah, it was her debut as a director. That was cool because obviously WE stands for Wally E. Simpson, I believe, to do with the royal family in the olden days, and it was a big deal for one of the princes to quit his title and marry this woman. So it was a big deal. Yeah. So it was cool, man. Obviously, Madonna, legend.
Big deal,
yeah.
Madonna.
Say it with your chest. Madonna.
Legend, man.
Whoever don't know how big Madonna was, she was like...
Yeah, the Beyonce of now.
That's how big she was. But anyway,
icon, man. She was cool. That was cool. Like, obviously, I had my audition and then...
Did you meet her?
Yeah, the first... Like, obviously, when like my first day filming, Osley, I was filming in a hotel, so we got, you know, they briefed us before I first met her. Don't call her Madonna. It's call her M. And I was like, as soon as I met her, I was like, what, go on, man? You know what I mean? And I was like, what? And I was like, what? And then like, she was cool with me though. I asked her to come carnival as well one time. Really? This was London carnival. And you want to come carnival? And she was like, I can't. But, you know, I was just teasing her. But she was really sweet with me, man. You know, I had a few scenes. You know, she was cool. You know, it was her debut as a director, so it was nice to just see how she was working as well. It was a little bit military dance troopy the way she did it, but it was cool to work with. I was only in a couple scenes, but the fact that she handpicked me herself, it meant a lot to me. Yeah, and it did a lot for my confidence as well, to have someone like her pay attention to me.
Yeah.
That's big.
So yeah, that was cool, man. Yeah.
Did you learn anything new from that experience? Did you pick up anything from that?
Good question, man. Did I learn anything from WE? Oh, what did I learn from WE? I learned. That was the first time I was in my hotel room waiting to come down and film, and I was waiting for like 10 hours. Yeah, it was like half a day, 12 hours. I was told my call time was maybe 6 or like say 10 in the morning, and I didn't get used to 10 at night. And that was one of the first times I had to practice patience. Because I was just walking around the room effing. I'm like, what's wrong with these people, man? I got my waiting around. But you learn. That was one of the first times I started to learn that, there's a lot of waiting around on set. Like a lot of waiting around. You only get used for a certain amount of time, but you gotta keep your energy up, because remember, if you lose it, by the time they're ready to go and you've lost that mojo in you can mess your whole thing up. So you gotta stay on point. So that was one of the first times I learned to just be patient and just chill, take my time and keep myself busy and composed, you know. Yeah, for sure.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
When I don't have it.
Me neither.
We're working on it.
Patience is passion that has been tamed.
See
Ooh, message.
Yeah, tame that, man.
Dropping some gems, okay. Get that on a t-shirt.
So, how did you feel to be nominated for a BAFTA?
Wait a minute, we got to give you your flowers.
Wait. It wasn't actually a BAFTA. It was
Wasn't it for Best Emerging Talent?
Yeah, it was gosh, I forget what it was. It wasn't official BAFTA, but it was like BAFTA, but like I forget what it was.
Whatever it is, we're gonna take it.
But yeah, it was for emerging talent. When
you got nominated, bro.
Okay, you got nominated.
Yeah, it was sick. To be fair, the guys I got nominated with, they were really cool people. It was Ashley Madekwe. She's in the States doing cool stuff now. She did a few shows here, but then she went out there and did her thing. I think it was Adam Deacon. And Jacob Anderson, I think it was him maybe, I don't know who was him, but they were cool people who I really looked up to and thought they were cool. So to be amongst them and to be like company. The Brummie and you know, and obviously for them to see me as an emerger really did a lot for my confidence as well. So I think it was Screen Nation Awards. under the BAFTA title. I can't remember, man. But it's something like that. Yeah, it was under BAFTA though. Yeah.
You say a lot about your confidence, like with and your confidence, aka Madonna, and just getting that being nominated as well. That was with your confidence. So, do you find before, or are you still like sometimes you struggle with like being confident?
No, I mean I'm at a point where I know myself very well. I know my insecurities. I know my weaknesses and strengths, and I keep an abundant mindset. So it's very hard to be. It's very hard to not be confident with an abundance mindset.
Was that in the beginning then, more so?
Yeah, because as I said, I was drunk on audacity.
Yeah.
I couldn't lose. I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
The worst that could happen is I come home back to Birmingham and just figure it out and just go from there. So I literally at one point, I just didn't care. I was just like, I have nothing to lose. And that sort of gave me the confidence and well in them to just think, well, this kid obviously got something because he don't really need us. I did need them, but I didn't let it be known too much. I just knew what I had to offer, and I had faith as well. And I just took that, and obviously by God's grace, it started to come for me. Yeah, so a lot of confidence, man. Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Amen.
So what made you want to take the leap of faith? First of all, that's really a big deal. Too, not only did you like leave Brum when you was young and just like said, you know what, I'm going to follow my dreams with nothing. You went to London, you did that on your own, and then you did that for a bit, and you're like, you know what, I've done this. I'm going to take it further. I'm going to leave the country. I'm going to leave my family. I'm going to leave everything I know behind. And I'm going to move to LA, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to grab it. What made you do that?
I looked around, and I realised you're more celebrated as a black actor in the States. That was one of the first things I noticed, and that was a fact.
You
see that,
man.
You're
It's
more
so
celebrated
sad.
there. You know, as tough as it is there, you're a lot, more celebrated. And I feel my peers going out there doing their thing, and it was always a plan to go to the States. You know, it was always part of my 10-year plan, 20-year plan. So as I said on my 10th anniversary in London, I say this a lot, so people know. Like a lot of my supporters know this. My 10th anniversary living in London. Down to the day is when I booked my flight to LA. So my 10th anniversary, I was in LA a couple of days later. So it was always part of the plan anyway to go to the States. It was inevitable.
So no matter what happened, 10 years you was up.
I had to, and I didn't even know before maybe 9 years and 7 months. I didn't know how I was getting to the States. I didn't have no money to get there. I didn't have the resources, but I just by the grace of God, as I said, the universe just helped me get there. And I was like, I got to get there. And then I met someone, obviously, who helped me, bless her. She helped me get to the States. And that was it. I was there on a little B1 visa.
Your heart.
Yeah, she did a lot. I don't speak to her now, but, I owe her a lot because without her, I probably wouldn't have got to where I got to, out in the States. I just needed to get there. And I went on a B1 visa that only lasted 6 months. And I was like, I remember my friend's auntie was the lawyer, the immigration lawyer who helped me. And she was Jamaican. She's one of the top lawyers in Jamaica. She said, let me tell you something. You have 6 months to go in and come out. And if you don't do it under them 6 months, and I was just like, don't worry about that. I was like, let me just get there.
Let me get there.
My mentor, Carl George, says to me, I don't want anything. Just give me opportunity. And I'll do the rest. My mentor, Carl George, says that. And with that, I was like, just let me get out there. So with that first 6 months, I was out there, made other things happen, turned that into a 3-year visa, and then from that 3-year visa it turned into a green card, and the rest is history.
Determination.
So, that was it, man. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so Mr. LA, first audition. We're hearing it was with a Miss J-Lo.
Ain't it fun? Yeah, my very first audition in America was with Jennifer Lopez, man. Yeah, show called Shades of Blue, cop show out there. Well, when I first got there, I met my agent, who potentially was going to be my agent, and sat down with him when I first got to America, and I was overweight, so to speak. I was quite chubby and just ghetto and just whatever else. And he says, do you think you're ready to jump on this thing here? And I just went there, no. So came back a year later with my driving license, 6-pack, all that. Yeah, I did what I had to do because I knew. Out there in Hollywood, you don't have to have chest, big muscles or nothing, but you gotta have a 6-pack. I watched all the boy bands and Take That and all these boys on all these, and they all had those skinny boys, but they all had 6-packs. So I was like, get you a 6-pack and go from there. So I came back here later, and he didn't really recognize me, to be honest. He used to say you look like a different person, a whole different energy. And I was like, all right, I'm ready now. And then he sent me a mock audition for a show called Billions, like a lawyer show. And he was like, do this for me, this little scene, and then I'll see if you're ready. I did it, sent it back to him, and he was like, okay, I'm sending you on your first audition. And that was Shades of Blue with J-Lo. And it took me 3 auditions. Obviously, I had a recall. And then from my 3rd meeting with her in the top of an NBC tower with 10 other executives, Barry Levinson, who's like the director of Rain Man, and Benny Medina. He created Fresh Prince and all that, and he's her like manager and stuff. They were all in there, and I was nervous, and I did my scenes. It was cool, and she was very, very polite. I told her it was my first audition, and she was like, this is crazy, your first audition in the States. And I was like, yeah, it's with you. And she was like, well, good luck. I didn't get the part. Obviously another guy got it. I don't think I was like subtle enough. I was a little bit nervous, so I didn't really grasp it all. But to just get that for my first audition, I was like, bruh, that's your first audition out here. Give me a year, give me 2 years, just give me something, and I will run from this. So first few auditions, I just started hitting them at the park, man, and then it went quiet, and then I got my first pilot after a while. So yeah, man, that was my first audition.
That's a good look.
Done.
Yeah. Crazy.
What would you say is the main difference between the UK acting scene versus the States acting scene?
Imagination. There's not much imagination here.
I was going to say they're limited.
Yeah.
As in, do you mean when it comes to like black males?
Writing.
The parts
the
you would play, you get cast
we're
as.
very limited, like
we know, we've seen the soaps.
Yeah, so, it was tough, I played a lot in my career in England. I played a lot of, laptop thieving guy, boyfriend of this, abusing that, and, a lot of type of, some were cool, but I did play a lot of stereotypical roles. And
negative roles.
Yeah, and they go as far as their imagination. So if that's all they have to offer, then that's what you're going to get on telly. It didn't really reflect what was outside in the real world.
Yeah.
I did a show called Dog Plate Drama, which was a cool urban show. That was on for,
drama.
you know what I mean? So that was cool to be around other actors and show a light of music and DJing and stuff like that. And then a show called West 10 that was on BBC 3. That show also, I was a drug dealer in it, but I wasn't a typical drug dealer.
Yeah. I
found the drugs and just tried to get rid of it, and it flopped, and we did some stuff. But they tried to fix a couple of things. That was written by Courtney Newland, actually. He's doing great stuff now. And it was just limited access, and just in the States there's a whole nother barrel of yarn there, ball of yarn there. You just do so much.
You can be anything in the States.
You can be playing president, playing
lawyer, whatever.
Ain't no black man playing the prime minister in England right now.
No, true, very true.
With that being said, it normalizes it, and it also gives the younger kids something to aim for. If they see that, these young kids who only knew Barack as a president for one point, you don't know what that's doing to their brain.
Yeah.
So
elevation,
there you go, man. It feeds others. Kids see, be what they see.
Yes. Yes, so, definitely.
Yeah.
So, you played a very big role.
Yeah.
On NCIS.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
One of my the one you was in, that one is like my favorite. And the Miami one.
Miami.
Is that the one with
Miami? No, he was in the original one. No, LL's in the other one. Those two, the original and the Miami one. I don't know why, but those are the two that I gravitate to. And then when someone told me you was gonna be there, I was like, Masha! I was like so gassed. I was so excited.
Yeah, I wish everyone had that response. I got certain man them who I know who used to watch that show, and even in prison, who were in prison like, blood, you ruined my show for me, Man can't even watch the show.
No.
Man, man just seeing dude, man can't even, man ruined the show, blood. And I was like, sorry, blood. But that obviously, that show changed my life.
But just touching back on that, why did they say like you ruined it?
Because if you're, what show do you watch now? Like you say, is one of your favorite shows that you watch?
I watch a lot of Ratchet TV, so
do you watch
Housewives probably?
Acting shows.
Acting. I don't really watch.
So say you watch like How to Get Away with Murder, something like that. I'm not saying you do. Say you loved it, or EastEnders or something like that, and you got a brethren from school or someone from the ends who's in it, and they're all up in your show, they're gonna like. I'm not saying they're not gonna make you still. They're gonna take your attention away because it's man them innit. Like you're like, oh, this is my boy in the show.
I think it
kind of
depends
changes
on your mindset.
Yeah, but so that's what I said. Man them in prison were telling me that. So they all they got is shows like NCIS to keep them going as a fantasy, as an escape. They've got man them from their ends in there. It kind of brings the reality of it. So that's why I said, I remember like, y'all can't even watch the show.
That's okay. So now you explain it. I understand because if it was me, I'd be like happy and be.
Yeah, no, they weren't hating. It was in jest, but they were like, blood, you just ruined the show.
They could remember.
Because Gibbs, a character like Gibbs is untouchable. He's like this pure. And if you got man from Handsworth all up next to you, like what? Man's from the ends with him. It kind of ruins the fantasy a little bit, you know. So I think that's what it was mainly. But no, obviously, that show was insane. Yeah.
What was the process leading up to NCIS?
Same process as any other show I did. Just bigger lights, bigger platform, and bigger cameras, bigger audience. But ain't no different to anything I did. Just the same thing. But obviously going up for it, I can say it now. I'm not in it, but I never really knew what the show was. I never knew what it was. Like that. No, I never knew. I never really watched TV growing like that because I'm always in this tunnel vision thing, trying to get acting. I never really watched that show. So when I first went up for the part and it was British, I just thought, okay, I'm trying to do something American out here, but let me just see what's up with it. And then I think that kind of helped me get it because I was so chilled with it. It never really came that big of a deal, you know. So when I first got it, obviously, the part. Going up, you know, all the auditions and stuff. It was chilled, but I just never really grasped it. I knew it was gonna, because I never got a series regular straight away. People think I got a series regular. I got 2 episodes, and it was potential talk to be replacing one of the mains. But I thought, I don't know how it's gonna go. So I did 2 eps, didn't hear nothing for a few months. And when the 2 eps was out, everyone thought I was in it. And I was just like, I'm not in it yet, but thank you for enough. And obviously, you know, it came towards just before I was leaving England to go back to the States to nothing. I had no crib, nothing. I just did my 2 eps and that, and then literally the day before I was getting on the plane, my manager just said, he just texted me green light. That's what he put. I was just like, okay. So yeah, that was it. I got the part, and then, you know, as I say, the rest is just history, man. Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
So you was featured in Marvel's.
Yeah, I did not much. I did a few cool scenes in Captain Marvel with my scenes with Samuel L. So that was really crazy for me to just be working with someone of his stature, of course, you know. And I'm not the biggest fan of green screen, blue screen, makeup, and you know, I'm more of a Denzilian actor. I like that we call it a kitchen sink actor. That's what I am, more of a kitchen sink actor. Do you know what that is?
No. I have no idea. At least we're honest. We're gonna be like,
well, it's funny. I don't really know where the term comes from, but my impression of kitchen sink
it's raw. It's like
it's by the kitchen sink, innit? You know, you're acting by most acting is done like, I'll put the kettle on and just real kitchen, like, because that's where you have most of your life talks with people. It's in the kitchen, like, you know, like real life things. Talk, so we call it kitchen sink dramas, where you just, you know, real life stuff, you know. So to do something like Captain Marvel, it was really cool, you know. But I didn't like being in the chair for hours and hours, being sprayed and having these contact lenses in. It was a cool experience, but it wasn't something that I, you know, thoroughly enjoyed. I wouldn't say I would do it again, but
what? I want to see you the sequel.
But to be on a blockbuster film and to be around that level of, you know, the lights and going to the premiere and all that cool stuff, and
you saved them basically. You was the hero. Like, you freed them. You like had them escape.
You ain't seen it yet. Go see it.
I mean, I don't. Spoiler alert. Sorry, my bad.
Spoiler alert.
I'm sorry. You should have seen it already. 2020. Where you been?
So what was Samuel L. Jackson like? What's he like in real life?
He's cool, man. He's Samuel. He's exactly what you get on the tin with him, you know. He's very cool. But actually, a funny story is, you know, I was a bit reluctant to go up to him and run up to him and be all over him. So I was just chill first couple of days. I didn't even think I said hello or whatever, nodded, but I didn't go up to him. And I feel like the 3rd day, I was just sitting there and he came over and he just started talking and he was like, so where you from, man? I'm like, I'm from Birmingham. He's like, you from Birmingham? And I was like, yeah. He said, I had a girl from Birmingham.
No talking business.
And he was like, I was like, you ain't got no girl from Brum. What are you talking about? And he was like, no, it's a true story, man. I used to be in London, and he said he'd get the train down to
wow.
Birmingham in the 80s when he was doing stuff here, and he had a girl he'd go and see here.
Okay, he's been married for years.
Yeah, and I said, what happened to her? And he went, like, you know, she got lost in the shuffle, man. And I was like,
excuse me.
That was his exact words. She got lost in the shuffle. So yeah, we bonded from that, like knowing he had a gal from Birmingham in the 80s. So.
See, Brum girls, I'm just saying, Brum girls are doing it still. They're grounded.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but no, it was a cool experience, man. Definitely.
So, in some of your roles as well, because you base everything, well, you let people know that you are from Brum.
Yeah.
And you brought Brum into some of the roles that you played.
Yeah.
Was that your idea to do that?
I would say it was my idea, but a couple of times, a little cheeky. I've been there's a couple of references in Ncis where they made points to make that I was from Birmingham, or just a little cheeky wink, you know, certain lines that they use. So I don't know if it was me primarily, but we work with the writers and they make it known sometimes. What other show did they make known? I think it was Dubplate. Yeah, we did Dubplate and they had scenes in Birmingham, so they made sure that we came back and filmed here, and it was like, okay, it's from Birmingham. So I do most shows, not most shows, but some things I've done, they've known I'm from Brum. Because you got a rep, man, I'm from Birmingham, and being not like the only outsider, it's always been a bit tough. Like when I did West 10 at the end, it was my first real lead in a TV show, and it was an ensemble cast with Ashley Walters, Noel Clark, Ashley Madekwe, Adam Deacon, Jacob Anderson, who's doing great things, and like, you know, as Grey Worm. And what show is that show he does?
What was that Grey Worm? I know it with my
show, the big show, yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
That's my show.
To be in the show with those guys, and Andrew Squires, he was my Andre Squires, sorry, he's my co-star in it. But to play the lead in that type of show and be the Brummie.
Yes.
Against all them London boys, and the show's called West 10 out the end. So you have to think, I'm this like early 20s guy from Brum, and I'm leading the show with this all London cast, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. So to do stuff like that, I've always had to rep Birmingham, man. Like, you know, even my license plate says Brum boy. People rip me for it, but it is what it is, man. I love being from Birmingham. I love the city, I love the vibe here, and I wouldn't change it, man. Yeah.
Well, we need to get Birmingham on the map a bit more.
Yeah, man. No, we're there. We're coming. I mean, we're there. You know, it's just that unspoken hero city. Birmingham is. Yeah, man. It gets a lot of bad press.
And
man.
it's the second city as well. So
yeah.
you think they have more light shed on it.
Yeah, I love Brum, man. I love being from here. Everyone here. One thing with Brum, I realised like. It's very, very hard to be racist in Birmingham if you're from here, because you literally you have no choice but to be around everyone. From back in the day, you know, everyone. I don't even need to say what colours. You know what when you come to Birmingham, everyone's just cool to a certain degree, unless it's spiked up by the media. Or today, I don't know so much today's vibe with what's going on in the world and the influx of different people. But when I grew up Birmingham in the 90s and early thousands, Birmingham, everyone's mixed up in Brum. You have no choice. Soho Road. You know what I mean? It's changed much now, but when I was out there, you know, it was crazy. Yeah.
But it's still the same multicultural.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Brum, man. Yeah, man. Brum is everything. Yeah. Crazy.
What would you say is the difference between acting in a movie versus acting in a soap?
Oh, man. The money. I'm joking.
I'm
The difference between acting and TV and film, it's pretty much the same. You always have to. I think you almost have to. TV is just the pace of it. I think it's a little quicker, unless you're on a big network show and they have the money to take time. And but I think it's just the pace of the show, and it's a little bit logistically different. You know, I can't really put my finger on it, but film, you know, it's a lot bigger. So you almost have to amplify what you're doing a little bit more. TV's a little more boxy, so it's more like skiing in this little box. I can't explain it, but the eyes are a little more. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something we do where it's just different from film. Film for me is just a bit more of a pullback, but TV's more like dissecting.
And you've got more freedom with like films and movies.
Yeah, you got more time to just, you know, figure it out a little bit more. Not much, but it is a little bit more time. There's a lot more pressure with a film though, because you got to get it because the time is money. Yeah. But you also got that space as well to figure it out a second more, you know. For me anyway, but yeah, that's the difference for me, just the pacing.
So how many movies have you been involved with?
Over the years?
Yeah, so far. Can you...
I don't know.
Lost count, huh?
I don't. After I finish a project, it's nothing to do with me. Yeah, I've done my bit. I'm onto the... If I'm looking back over there, looking in the rearview mirror, I'm gonna crash into someone.
Yeah, you're gonna miss what's in front.
I mean, I've done my thing. I hope, you know, bless it with what I got, and then just keep moving, because it's a constant flow. You never stop. It's not a stop-start thing. It's just a flow. So, how many have I done? I don't know. Honestly, a bunch of cool films, man. Yeah, not as much as I'd like.
IMDb.
Yeah. Not as much as I'd like. You know, obviously, as an artist, you always want to do more. But yeah, I've done a few films, man. Yeah.
Nice.
What would you say has been the most challenging part of your journey so far?
Most challenging part is transitioning from. Oh man, what a question. In my whole career, the most challenging part for me so far.
Well, your journey, so even before your career.
Most challenging part of my career is watching my family grow up from afar. That was really difficult, because, you know, I could get emotional talking about it, because, you know, you don't age in Hollywood, but everyone else does when you go home. And you know, when I moved to London, my baby sister, Kimora, wasn't born.
Yeah. She
was born when I was 21. So she's only known me on the TV or living away and coming back and forth. She's 14 next month. You know what I'm saying? So those are the challenges. And obviously, you know, Juanita, my sister, was difficult leaving her at 16, because she was my rock growing up. It was always me and her, like my twin. We were only 11 months apart, but all I know is her. Everything we went through was her. You know, belly full, her. Belly empty, with her. So it was no different. So leaving her was a difficult thing, and then, you know, having to grow apart from her. But I knew deep down I had to do this for us, in a sense. So not just for us, it's a selfish thing to do, but I just had a calling, and I had to run with it. And I knew if I stayed, like, you have to understand, I'm not putting in an arrogant way, but someone like me, with my persistence and my perseverance and my dedication, if I was not acting and I was on the road, better mind, you better watch out for me. I'm gonna cause some trouble in the end, because the type of imagination, bro, the type of head I've got and what I'm gonna do, if it's not acting, and if I put this energy into the streets or badness, God knows I'm turning stuff upside down. I don't care. That mentality I just adapted to acting. So
something positive. Look where you are.
I had to do that, because if that energy would have went somewhere else, I don't know where I would be right now.
There you go.
And that's the difference between me and most children. I just channeled it somewhere different. But most of these kids are not dumb, stupid. They're frustrated because they don't know, they can't find their sort of vessel to express themselves. Not just acting, but whether it's an accountant, a mentor, whatever it may be, they don't have that access to let that go. And I found mine early on, because I realised I didn't want to work. And that's the only difference. I have friends who are still trying to figure out what they want to do today. That doesn't mean I'm better or worse than them. They just haven't figured it out yet. That's all it comes down to. So, you know, that was one of the challenges. Just leaving my family mainly, and just going apart. You know, I've always been cool on my own, but just my family, my friends growing up, and their struggles and not being able to be there with them. You know, even now living in America, it's very difficult. You know, I'm alone out there, and my mom having a child. I haven't got a kid, so I don't know what it's like, but having a child in another country must be insane. I can't even imagine what it's like.
Run down the road
having a child you have in another country. Those are the main struggles for me. Everything else you figure out in life, because life is there to be figured out. But main thing is just my family, because I'm a family man, you know. So I love my family. So that was difficult mainly.
Yeah, that is a massive step to take.
I couldn't
to be fair, to take I mean, to take that step and to be successful as well. I mean, that must be a great feeling.
No, it is. But you know what's even greater feeling? Not having the feeling of not making it. And people are like, wow, what happened to my, like, didn't you go out there to try and do a tick? And then like tumbleweed.
That's what I mean.
That was almost scarier for me to have that feeling. So I thought I have to go out there and do something, and just make it known. Like before anything, I just had to, you know, make sure I wasn't crazy. Because I thought I was a bit crazy to do that, and and then when it started to pop up, I was like, okay, I'm not crazy, I'll do this. And then from there, I was just like, you lot should never have gave me this thing, because I'm never gonna stop, ever. So
that's it, because you've done it on a massive scale. I mean, come on, a guy from Handsworth,
No, you're right.
Marvel,
when you say it like that,
you know what I mean?
And you haven't got the training or the background that most people, not to put anyone else down to say, okay, they've gone through this, they've done all these uni and they've done acting, and basically that's been their life. and then you come along and you was just like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm going to London, and by the way, in 10 years, I'm moving to the States.
You're right.
Basically, as I say, you wasn't born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You grinded it. You know what I mean?
Passion and perseverance.
Yeah. You create your own luck, though. You have to almost create your own luck. You know, there's so many. You're a product to your environment, but you're responsible for the choices you make. You are a product to your environment, but you're responsible for the choice you make. The sweet spot in life is your reaction to something.
I say it all the time.
You know, that is the sweet spot. How you react to anything in your life will determine where you're going to end up in life. And I just did and didn't react to certain things and looked at other people and learned from their misfortunes or their fortunes, you know, because every time growing up, all I had to look up to was my man them around me, and like obviously certain family members, and all I seen on road was just shiny gold teeth and cars and bumping music going past, living in Lazars and that. So I'm thinking, yo, this is it. How'd you get that? And I realized what you got to do to get that, and I knew also there was other avenues: prison, dead, and whatever else.
That's what I say. Quick money. The quicker you make it, the quicker you can lose it as well. When you do it the long way, the legal way, they can't touch you.
Yours.
It's yours.
My granddad always said, long way of sweat, shortcut blood. So always take the long way home if you have to, man. No shortcuts, man.
And you all had the same opportunity. So when I'm saying like you're a product of your environment to a certain extent, you had brethren coming up with you that probably didn't make the same decisions and choices. What's their excuse? You're all coming from the same place.
Thing.
You're all in the same box. So don't be limited by your environment or your circumstances. You're as big as you dream or you vision. And like you said, perseverance. If you put in the work, then you get whatever you desire.
I remember I said the sweet spot was when me, Darren and Tion sat down and decided to go to Dudley College. You have to understand that was a very important moment in my life. Because I went to school with a lot of bad boys who are, you know, guys who are really tough guys now, who do their thing, you know. And at that moment, I realized I'm not about that life. Because I realized early on that I will kill you because I'm scared. Not because I'm tough. I'm scared of myself because I got too much pride and ego, and I know if I'm in certain situations, I don't know what you're gonna do to me, so I have to kill you quickly. I have to mash you up. I have to, because I don't know what you're gonna do. So I have to just quickly kill you. And I don't want to be in that position. So let me step back and leave the bad boy thing to whoever. I'm not about that life, man. So I knew that earlier on, you know. So just taking that moment to figure out just weighing up your options, and us going to Dudley College for me was a big turning point in our life.
Education is the key, honey.
And also along the journey, you gotta, even if you have started on a different path, take accountability for it and then change your ways. You don't have to stay on a path.
It's not too late.
It's your choice, exactly.
Trial and error.
It's not set in stone. Make your own.
People come out of prison from how many years? 30 years, 40 years, and they've turned their whole life around. It's never too late to change.
Exactly.
Well, that's it. Well, people who are from the ghetto areas of Birmingham, here's a real life example of what you can achieve if you put your mind in the right places.
Respect, man. Respect.
Because we always hear about people from London. I think certain Brum people feel like, I don't know, like they can't achieve what people from London can. It's just a mental state. So Birmingham can't achieve that. So now, you know, people like yourself, real life examples of people that have shown people.
And unfortunately, I think I've messed it up for a lot of young boys and young girls, because right now there's no excuse. I don't hear nothing. No, because you got internet now, all these things, these platforms. When I was coming, I sound old saying this. When I was coming up, we have none of that. So no Facebook. It was probably MySpace was popping, but MySpace started popping around Dubplate days. So we didn't have nothing. It was just literally hardcore, raw. Just go in there and do your thing. So you youths ain't got no. I don't care what anyone's got to say. You can do this if you want it, but there's a lot of sacrifice, man. You know what I mean? I didn't have my first man-dem holiday till I was in my late 20s. I couldn't afford to go because, not like financially, I didn't want to miss out on anything. I had to focus and realize I just have to be ready, man. Like as Will Smith says, it's better to be ready and stay ready than to get ready. You know, so I wanted
That's what
to
we say.
Stay ready. Stay ready. So I was waiting.
So saying that, alongside that, what advice would you give to up and coming actresses and actors from Birmingham, like to not so much following your path, but the ways that you did it and the best way to do it, what to avoid? What advice would you give?
Well, sometimes the best advice is not to take advice. Sometimes, because sometimes you can get the wrong advice. You know, you gotta listen to yourself and know thyself. You gotta know your weaknesses, and you gotta be honest with your own weaknesses and insecurities. Because if you're not, if you're not willing to look in the mirror and face up to things you need to work on, then you're just fooling yourself, man. You know what I mean? So I think knowing what, and obviously you recognizing your strengths and where you can put them on steroids and make them even bigger. You know, but the best advice I can give to any up and coming artist is to actors and actresses mainly. Well, learn your lines first and foremost. Know your lines.
Don't get shouted at.
Yeah, they'll be familiar with your lines. You know, look as cute as possible. No, I'm telling you, you gotta look as nice as you can be. You have to. You gotta, and then you know, confidence to grow with it, because you know, acting is visual poetry. You know what I mean?
Say when you walk in,
it's visual poetry, man. You can dress it up how you want, but you have to have a certain look about you for people to identify or have some kind of image. You know, so you have to be, you know yourself. I know my face inside out. Every expression I do, I see it because I've seen it grow over the years. So I know what I do. So I know myself. You know. And I'm just very honest with my weaknesses, I think, and just dream big, you know, and just don't take the no's, man. Because as I said, every man on road and in the industry can say no, but you see, if the big man with the beard says yes one time, that's a wrap.
Yes,
you're good.
Yes,
all you need is that one yes from him up there, and then everyone else will be like, oh, okay. They'll start to get it, because sometimes people don't know what they want till it's in their face. A lot of directors, writers, casting directors, they don't know who they're looking for this character until he walks in the room sometimes. How? They don't know, like, there he is. And if you're not ready or prepared to do that, then you're making it a lot harder for yourself. So just stay ready, man. And then it's not easy, but it's so worth it.
Yes.
It is so worth it, man, you know? Yeah.
So before we, wrap up, I just got 31 question.
Yes, sir.
Going back on your acting, is there a favourite character that you played?
Oh, that's a nice question. Is there a favourite character I played? Oh man, I can't pick. That's like picking a favourite child. They're all my babies. They're all my babies,
you
man.
You must have one that you like. I love that character. I would love to revisit that character.
Well, Ncis moved my mum out of the hood, so I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it real, man. That character, that Ncis changed everything, you know. I've done a lot of cool stuff before, cool stuff after, but that helped change a lot of things around my life that just benefited a lot of people. So for me to not bring that up is kind of like slapping God in the face, man, and ignoring it. So that character changed everything for me. But in terms of an artistic point of view, my favourite character artistically, oh my God. Well, actually in terms of performance, my favourite character in terms of artistic expression, it was a film I did called Come Down. It was a horror film, slasher, and he was the director of Kidulthood, Menhaj Huda, who's still a good friend of mine. He lives in LA now with his wife and kids. But that was a character where he had, I want to say he has slight autism. I gave him a little bit of Asperger's. It was just more as of a challenge for me, you know, just to do something a little bit different out the box. And it was something I took away. I watched a lot of shows and studied, you know, the behavior and characteristics of someone who has those type of traits. So it was very interesting to see, you know, it was. I had to be careful as well, obviously, because I didn't want to portray something that was a false narrative, because people who experience those and live with people in those situations, they will pick up on that. So you know, it was a little bit of a quiet character. You know, I put on a little bit of weight to do it, just to do it, you know. And it was such a cool film. You know, it was me, Adam Deacon, Jacob Anderson, and you know, I can't forget about it. There's some other cool actors in it as well, you know. So that was a cool film. But in terms of performance, like, that was cool, because I felt a lot of people felt sorry for my character, because he, you know, he went through a lot, you know, especially Adam Deacon's character. He was really mean to him. So you know, he was a big guy, but you know, he wouldn't hurt a fly. So that was a cool character. Yeah, I guess. Come Down. Yeah.
Have you got like a favourite actor or actress?
Oh man, it changes, man. Yeah. But obviously,
who did you grow up? You know, like
Denzel. all day long.
Training Day. Denzel is
well, you know what? I bet no one knows this. Denzel once did a film with a British accent.
Did he?
Yeah. No one knows this.
I feel like I watched most of his movies.
Yeah.
What film was that?
It was a film called For Queen and Country. And it was I think it's the 80s now. I think it was casted by...
Well, if it's the 80s,
Yeah.
I might have missed that one.
Yeah, it was the 80s, late 80s. I think it was casted by Leo Davis. And that was one of his, what was his first, I think, international film, first international character. But he played a British guy, Cockney lad, and not many people have seen it. So from day, I've been watching Denzel. And obviously Will Smith, but Will Smith and Denzel for me is very style versus substance.
Yeah.
You know, Will's got the style and Denzel's got the substance.
Yeah.
You know? So I'd watch Denzel do the dishes. Literally, he's just got this.
It's
thing.
like he just drops gems no matter what he's doing.
Georgie win as well.
He's just combing his hair and you're just like, oh my gosh, he just dropped a gem.
Yeah. It's like your hair.
It's just like your hair. Like he's so smart.
Yeah, nah, he's dope. So people like, you know, Denzel I like, but, you know, I also like, you know, people get surprised by this, but you know, I thought was a really cool actor and I loved watching him work. Tupac, man.
Yeah.
I like Tupac. He was very natural.
I like Tupac.
very natural. You know, very organic with the camera. You know, I just like the way, you know, and he really didn't get a chance to blossom as an actor. I think he could have done so much more. Unfortunately, he passed, but he was someone I like to watch.
Poetic Justice is.
Oh mate, that film there, their chemistry, him and Janet, man. I just it's
natural.
And Juice, was it Juice?
Yeah.
Juice. The tension that he brought to the camera on that.
Scary.
You
man.
always remember when you first watched Juice. I always remember that film.
Yeah, he's dope, man. Yeah, he's cool. But no, there's a lot of cool actors. You know, I like Meryl Streep, man.
Yeah,
she's a dope actress, man. People like, you know, she's been around forever. But Robin Williams, I can be here. Dustin Hoffman, I can be here all day, man.
Yeah, Raymond and Justin, like,
come on.
So it sounds like all the old school actors as well.
Yeah, I like the old nostalgia, man. That's where I pull my stuff from the old day. You know, I feel like I'm an old soul, so that's what I get. You know, that's what that got me into it. Watching the old shows, man. Yeah, definitely old school.
Would you ever write a film, or have you got a future plan to do so?
Yeah, I get asked this, man, all the time.
Yeah.
And the answer is, right now, no. I mean, I like.
I was expecting that.
No, I like performance art. I just love performance art. It's something I've always been interested in. Obviously, I write at home my own little things. And I dream of getting behind the camera. You know, when I got my little black and salt and pepper greys. You know, when I come old and maybe come back to England and do some cool stuff with some kids. But right now, I just love performance, man. I know people say, you know, you should get behind the camera, but I don't care what people think. I don't want to do that yet. I do it in my own time. You know, that's the difference. You can't be forced and put into a position. You got to stand your ground for what you believe in, whether people get it or not. It's not about them if they get it or make sense one day to them because they have no choice. You almost have to force feed people what you stand for these days, you know, and that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people don't do stuff out of fear, and our fear is just false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So
Whoa,
you got
that's a good one.
Yeah,
You just dropped a gem.
Yes.
Get that on a t-shirt.
you got in a lot of t-shirts. So I just take my time, and you know, one day I'd like to do something cool. You know, but right now, you know, I do music. I like writing. You know, like rapping. I do stuff like that. Just for
You got bars.
Yeah. I got more bars than Phil and Phil and Grant. But no, I like to just act, man. Performance art is where my head's at right now. And as I said, acting is one of those beautiful things you can do until you're old and grey. It's not like certain jobs, a dancer or whatever else. It's very limited. And I knew that from college. I used to always argue with mans about careers and who would make the most. We'd be like, yeah, but footballers make more money. I'm like, yeah, cool, till you're about 36. Then
they
what?
have a natural stuff.
You know what
happens after that?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I get what they're saying, but my thing was always like, yo, acting's longevity. I can take a break, go back, take a break, go back.
There was that lady in Black Panther who started her acting career at 77, didn't she?
Wow.
And now, she started late, and now her face is mad recognizable, right? So yeah, there's no
Even
rules.
Samuel, he started late, I'm sure. Yeah, he started like
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
It's like he came into the world like that.
Oh, yeah, he was born old. Yeah, it's true, man. I love Morgan. I met him one time, man. Yeah, he's cool. I was nervous meeting him. Yeah, I was taking long to take the picture. You got to hurry with your picture, son. I'm like, we not. I like Morgan, man. Shawshank Redemption is actually one of my favourite films. I watch it at least once a month.
I watched that not long ago.
What a film.
Come on.
What a film. He's got that voice, ain't he? That standout voice.
Imagine that as a bedtime story.
Imagine.
Imagine him in an argument. You're just going to be quiet and listen.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that.
Forget your point.
Well, he's got a calming voice, so I probably wouldn't be scared. But if it was Samuel L. Jackson, mama!
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Today.
So guys, we're coming to the end, so we'd like to say special thank you to the one and only Duane Henry.
From town.
All the way from LA, just for us.
Yeah, just for us. He came here just to see us. Shout out to our sponsors, Danes Catering. Get your deliveries for some delicious Caribbean food. Also does events and birthday parties. Also for your t-shirt printing, like Say It By Lex, we need them t-shirts that we spoke about. We need those printed. Get your mugs as well. And also K.G Holistic Herbs and get your herbs, your Seamoss gel, and natural organic antiviral blend, stop you from that Rona stuff, honey.
Yes, honey.
All the information will be below in the description box, and also you can get it online via our Instagram, which is A Trade of You 01.
Yes.
I did that.
But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, everybody, and click that bell to be the first to see our videos. But thanks for joining us today. So, bye.